let's introduce you to Pam and to TW. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
I'm excited to be here, and I'm really excited and glad that we're sharing a cheese board. I think today the world needs more cheese boards. And the reason I say that is good food can foster good conversation where people listen as well as speak. And with a good cheese board facilitating that, people can move from beyond seeing differences or seeing people as ideas and positions, and instead see them as humans, as beloved people who we share the earth with. So I'm really excited that we're doing a cheese board today, and I'm excited that we're doing some
I'm the director of marketing, and so I work with a team of folks on the marketing and sales side to really own the brand and how it shows up in the marketplace, and manage our innovation process and new items on the shelf, social media, all brand touch points. That's all me and my team. And so Pam and I work together very, very closely on new items that we're bringing to market, like the new Cheddars, and we've got a number of projects in the hopper right now that we're incredibly excited about that our teams overlap on. So that's why we're here today as a dynamic duo. She is certainly the brains of the operation, no doubt about it. My job is just to is Pam's handler most of the time, and trying to make sure that, you know, we're getting the brand story out there, as long as in addition to the expertise that we have in cheese making and the science that goes into making these great cheeses.
I always thought you were here to harass me about my favorite football team.
No, yeah, that's just another perk to the job. So I'm from Minnesota, and my last name is Bacon, which is also funny, working for a cheese company. But I'm the only like non-Packer fan probably here in Eastern Wisconsin, so we have a lot of fun with that as well. Very excited to be here, and we're new cheddar cheeses that Sartori is bringing to market this year, and so really, you know, this is a cool opportunity for us to share, and you can learn directly from the Master Cheesemaker, Pam herself, on these new cheddars that we have in market. So it's really a cool opportunity to learn from a master. So first off, I'm TW Bacon, and I'm the director of marketing at Sartori Cheese, based in the cheese capital of the world, Plymouth, Wisconsin. And so Sartori is a family-owned cheese company since 1939. We're currently in our fourth generation, which is incredibly unique and special. We're very proud of that heritage. In fact, our owner, Jim Sartori, has a lot of grandkids, which will be the fifth generation in the Sartori family, which we're all incredibly excited about, and hope that I'm still around to see that. And so we've been family owned and operated since 1939, and our mission is to make the best cheese in the world, and that's been our mission ever since we set out in 1939. It's incredibly ambitious, and something that we strive for every single day, knowing that, you know, you may never get there, but when you arrive at your post every day, that's everybody's mindset, to do a little bit more than they did yesterday to try and achieve that goal of making the best cheese in the world. So it's something that we are really proud of, and making the quality cheese that we have for over 80 years is something that we're dedicated to, and really proud of the craftsmanship and heritage that we have within making great cheese. Our founder, Paolo Sartori, came over from Italy, and Wisconsin is our home. And as I mentioned, our corporate office is in Plymouth, Wisconsin. We also have a cheese make facility in Plymouth, and also up in Anago, Wisconsin. You can see on the slide. And the beautiful thing about Wisconsin is the climate here, along with the soil and the terrain, is really unlike anything else in the world to make great milk. And you can't have great cheese, and you certainly can't make the best cheese in the world if you don't have great milk. And so Wisconsin is a unique combination of variables that allows us to source the freshest, the best milk. And so Wisconsin is the perfect place for us to make our cheese and have our home here in Eastern Wisconsin. Family is something that's embedded into the culture of the organization. It's one of our core values for our brand and for our company, and that goes to our family farms that we partner with as well. And so, you know, as I mentioned, we can't make great cheese without great milk. And so partnering with family farms across Wisconsin, it allows us to do that. And so when we're looking at the family farms that we partnered with, most of them are within 75 miles of our cheesemake facilities. That allows us to get the freshest milk possible. And we pay a premium to all of our family farms in so that we, you know, make sure that we get the highest quality, and we can foster those long-term partnerships over the course of generations. It's important to us. And we also enter into agreements with the family farms that we partner with to take all of their milk, which is in times like these is incredibly important as well. And it's something that's really important to our company. And it's not just when you buy a wedge of Sartori cheese or a brick of Sartori cheese, you're not only supporting the team members and the brand that in Plymouth, but you're also supporting multi-generational family farms across Wisconsin, which is incredibly important as well. So that's something that has been a part of our heritage throughout our history, and will continue to be as time goes on, and we continue to expand our portfolio and grow our business across the country.
So Pam, tell us about your cheese making journey.
It's a long journey. Thank you for bringing that up, Michael. In 1991, I took a job in a cheese plant. It was a job. It was good, honest work. I wanted to help support my family. And once I got into the plant, I just fell in love with the process. So I started in quality. From there, I went into operations. Eventually became the head cheesemaker, the head starter maker of that facility, and was going quite swimmingly along with that until I was downsized. And at that point, I had to decide what I want to do next. What do I want to do? And the phone rang. Sartori called. My boss was like, "Let's sit down and talk." We talked about what I could do. He talked about the aspirations that Sartori Cheese had, where the company wanted to go, and together we created a position that could leverage what I could do and where Sartori wanted to go. That was in 2005. In 2013, I became a Master Cheesemaker, and at this point, a lot of my focus is not only to make really great cheese, but it's also to develop the team. When you pick up a piece of Sartori cheese, and TW mentioned this a little bit too, it's really like we're seeing the top of an iceberg, or we're seeing the tip of a mountain. Behind that piece of cheese, there's our artisans that are making the cheese, and behind them are family farms that provide us with high quality milk. Without high quality milk, as cheesemakers, we'll never succeed if we do not have good milk to start with. So every piece of cheese really represents an entire pyramid of effort going into it.
So did you start off making what kind of cheese?
Originally, I made American style cheeses such as Cheddar, MontAmoré, Jack, and Colby. I also made some Colby Jack and some other mixed curd cheeses.
So how'd the transition work out?
Great. One of the things I really like about Sartori, well, there's a lot of things I really like about it, but one of the things that really comes to mind is how much we value creativity and innovation. So for today, we're going to try 3 different cheddars. They're made in the Italian tradition. I mean, Italian cheddar is not an Italian cheese, but we take what we know and what we do as Italian cheesemakers, and we translate that into 3 unique, very flavorful cheddars. I know we'll spend more time on the cheddars later when we do the tasting, but one thing that's very unique about how we approach this at Sartori is most cheddar makers will make 1 cheddar, and some of it they'll sell young as a mild, some of it they'll age a little bit longer and sell it as a medium. Some they might age even longer and sell it as a sharp or even an extra sharp. What we're doing at Sartori is we start out with 3 unique cheeses. All of them have been aged a long time, and all of them are unique and different. So instead of having one recipe and selling it at different ages, we have 3 different recipes that we're selling them at probably about the same time roughly, but they're 3 unique different cheeses and cheese flavors. So that's a little bit different, but it kind of ties into our heritage as Italian cheesemakers. When we think about Parmesan, there isn't a mild Parmesan, a medium Parmesan, and a sharp Parmesan. There's Parmesan. So it kind of plays into what we do there. And then the other thing that is a core philosophy at Sartori is we want to be inspired by the greatest cheeses out there, whether they're from Europe or from the United States. We respect a well-made piece of cheese, no matter where it's from. That said, we're not interested in copying or knocking off somebody else's great cheese. We go into cheese making saying we want to be inspired, we want inspiration, but we're not interested in imitation. So as we taste the cheeses today, we'll find some unique flavors, some unique cheddars that I think fit very well in the marketplace.
So we talk about American originals all the time, Monterey Jack, Humboldt Fog, cheeses like that. So do these cheddars fall into that category?
MontAmoré definitely fits into that category. I'm not sure when we get to the pairing part, but MontAmoré is definitely American original.
What's one of the differentiations that you use to talk about Sartori?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, we have a very, I guess, a balanced portfolio of specialty cheeses. And so I guess I'll start with what we're best known for, which is our Bellavitano line, our flavored Italian hard cheeses. And so, really that equity we have in flavor is something that we can hang our hat on. I mean, there's a lot of new entries in that space, whether it's soaked or rubbed cheeses, but nobody has the Bellavitano cheese type that we do, and the expertise that we have in hand rubbing and soaking the cheeses that we do. And so that is something that is definitely provides a lot of equity for our brand, and is what we're known for across the US, and something that we are constantly trying to innovate in so that we can maintain that flavor leadership. We're trying to introduce new flavors at least on an annual basis, so we can keep things fresh, and we have new and exciting news in that space, so we can continue to own that leadership position in flavor. Cheddars now we are incredibly excited about a new frontier, and we believe strongly that the cheddar segment in specialty cheese is ripe for disruption. It's a huge category, but a lot of the cheeses that are in that space are very simplistic single note experiences, and where we as a team have created, as Pam alluded to, these very complex, balanced flavor experiences for people that we think are incredibly different and ladder up in premium in the cheddar space. And so we're incredibly excited about our new entrance into that space. If you've ever had MontAmoré cheddar, everyone knows how wonderful and different that cheese is. It's definitely a fan favorite. And these 2 new cheddars that we have are definitely great complements and build on the equity that we built in MontAmoré in cheddar. And I can tell you that's just the beginning. I mean, Pam and the team are continuing to work on other innovation in cheddar, and it's something for us that's going to be a big platform for growth that we're incredibly excited about. And we feel that our brand can play a much bigger role in that space in the years to come, by not just taking one block of cheese and aging it, as Pam mentioned, but everything offers an incredibly unique and complex flavor experience for consumers. And so we feel strongly that that's a space that's going to provide a lot of great experiences for our patrons, but also growth for our brand.
And to build on that, making 3 different aged cheddars it makes us better cheesemakers, because if a cheesemaker makes a mistake, they might sell that bat as a mile. For us, we don't have that outlet. We need to make every bat perfectly, and our cheesemakers are up to that. You know, it's like game on, let's go. We're gonna do it.
So what's in the process of the development of a new cheese?
There's a lot in that, and I've been in the dairy industry really my whole life, but working in a cheese plant since 1991. And what I find is nothing is ever wasted. Any piece of knowledge that I've picked up over the years is never wasted. Even the fails, some of the epic fails, I've still learned something from it. And sometimes it's just as important to know what not to do as well as what to do. And I'm very grateful to Sartori, because we have a culture of innovation, which means one can fail and still come to work the next day. So I definitely have some things that I learned I'll never do it again. But I've also learned a lot over the years. So as we try the 3 cheeses before us today, there's a lot of starter Jedi magic, cheesemaker Jedi magic. Our starter cultures are our workhorses as far as developing flavor, and we're building on our Italian heritage and Italian knowledge on what starters we're using to create 3 different cheeses. Basically we're starting with the same milk and we're ending up in 3 very different places. A lot of it has to do with our heritage and our knowledge of starter bacteria cultures.
I would just add that we, as far as the process goes, it's something that I think we've, over the last few years, we've done a nice job of collaboration between Pam's team from an R&D perspective, and then from a marketing and sales aspect, trying to combine the expertise that we have in heritage in making great cheese, and combining that with where our customers and our patrons are at in the marketplace, and trying to combine those 2 things together has been incredibly important, and has led to some great extensions for us flavor-wise, and we'll continue. And we have a heck of a lot of fun doing it. We're making cheese, and so that should be fun. And so that's something I think we found a nice groove in terms of that collaborative process between the R&D and the scientific side, the intellectual side, and then from a marketing and sales aspect, trying to combine where our customers and our consumers are at in the marketplace.
Without getting into specific cheeses, Pam, when you are working with the aging cave, when you're extending them out, there are cheddars out there that are 3 months, and there are cheddars that are out there for 4, 5, 6 years. So how do you determine that these are the right time and the right amount of aging?
Yes, that's an excellent question. The process that we use at Sartori is we will run trial bats. We'll try different things, and then periodically throughout the aging period, we'll go to the cheese cave, to the aging facility, and try the different cheeses, and we'll see where they're optimal, what ages they are, and we'll also continue that aging process, because we want to know how the story ends. We want to know how long a cheese will hold to form. So it's a matter of letting the cheese speak, starting with what you know, making the cheese, and then letting it tell you what it should be.
So do you continually make the cheese and then keep testing it with all the batches behind it?
It depends on the product. For the development of the cheeses we have today, no, we They were made as part of a series of trial vats. We have, just in the last year, we've experimented with a half dozen or more different possible cheddars, and then we'll pick the best ones from all of those to go forward with. So we'll weigh it. And that's one of the things that I think about sometimes too, because we'll run a vat, we'll monitor it, we'll evaluate it, we'll find what its voice is, and we'll wait before the best ones come to right to the top. And it makes you think about how many chances a cheesemaker gets in their lifetime, right? So say we have a cheese that requires 10 months to age. So we're maybe waiting 10 months before we make another vat of that. How many chances in your lifetime do you get to develop a cheese that requires a long hold? We're not here today to talk about our Cervecchio Parmesan, but that cheese is aged for 20 months. That's a long time commitment to develop a cheese like that.
So TW, how's that work for your world? You get a cheeses coming out and then it's standby and wait for the next cheese.
Yeah, I think the way we've tried to build our innovation process over the course of the last year is being a bit more strategic in terms of identifying, key launch windows and platforms that we want to get behind. And so we've been able to build the timelines accordingly and making sure that we're hitting those key milestones and launch windows that we want for our key customers. And so we've gotten a lot better at that over the course of the last couple of years. So when we have longer age cycles in some of the cheeses, that we're able to back up and say, all right, we know we want to launch in January. We're able to back that up and figure what that is from a first shipment time frame, and then do all the development work on design and those types of things. So it's a part of that collaborative process that we have, and working with Pam and her team and having a good understanding on how long that process works. And then me and my team can take it from there and develop all the materials that we need so that we're ready to hit the ground running on a launch basis when the time comes. So it works out pretty well for us. At least it has over the course of the last couple of years.
Pam, we had a quick question from Rebecca, and she wanted to know what are the ages of each of these cheeses? And I know we're going to get into more detail, but just kind of general.
In general, 10 months. Surprisingly, one of the more flavorful cheeses on our cheese plate today, we don't quite age that long. It doesn't need as much time to develop the flavor. But in general, it seems like we need 10 months to get something really aged, full flavored.
And I think that's where, I say there's room for significant disruption in Cheddars, is that I think as consumers, we're trained to look for age in cheddar, because that's the way the category has been. We make one kind of cheese and age it different dates to get stronger flavor. And I think what we're saying here from what Pam and the team have been able to do is we can create incredibly unique experiences without age. So I'm not saying age is completely irrelevant, but it does not play a significant role in the complexity and the flavor experience that we're able to deliver in our line of cheddars, which is a very different way of looking at it versus what some of the other cheddars that you see in the set today.
So we see classifications of cheddar from mild to sharp to super sharp to incredibly and all of that. And then we see aged cheddars that go through there and bandaged wrap. So do you think that you have your own coined descriptions?
I think what we're saying is that what we've learned is what is more important, at least from our side, is that if you look at our cheddars, each one has its own naming convention. And then we have two words that very quickly describe what you can expect, whether it's smooth and creamy, aged and sharp. I mean, it's a very quick description on what the patron can expect. And so that's something that we've learned is very relevant and useful. And then when you try it, it reinforces like, oh yeah, okay, that does add up. So it's making it a lot easier to understand, because what we've learned is that, you know, what I would try and think of as a sharp Pam might be incredibly different, and Michael, you might be even, you know, different from that. And so it's a very, you might ask 100 people to define something as sharp or not, and you're going to get incredibly different answers. There's not one fixed standard. And so trying to anchor in something that is a bit more tangible than just sharpness, mild, medium, extra sharp, Vermont sharp, New York sharp, Wisconsin sharp, whatever it might be, it's just a bit more useful from what we've learned from a patron perspective. And so that's what you'll see on our line of cheddars is, instead of ages, we're trying to just anchor very, very quickly in a 2-word description on what you can expect from a flavor perspective.
Well, we see the correlation sometimes in brewers with the beers, and you have a West Coast IPA, you have an East Coast IPA, you have other coast IPA, and so you have the same beer, like the same cheddar, but different direction. So how is it that you guys decided to go? Is it just going to be a Sartori thing in flavor? It's yours.
I would say yes. I mean, I feel confident in saying that it'd be very, very difficult for somebody to replicate what we are bringing forward. East Coast, West Coast, we're North Coast, Wisconsin, Midwest. You know, what we're able to bring to the table is definitely a unique flavor profile that is incredibly different, and that's why we're really excited about what the potential for our brand is in this segment, because we really haven't played a big role as of yet. And as you know, as I mentioned, it's a huge segment, obviously, but a lot of cheeses that lack some of the complexity, and they're great cheeses, but they're not able to bring to the table some of the things that we can with our brand, and some of the things that we feel are ownable and can really help differentiate our brand in this space. So I feel confident saying yes, that this is something that's definitely ownable for Sartori cheese.
I think there's room for any cheese that's good. There's room for everybody. If you make a good product, there's room. Really, the thing I'd like to emphasize, you know, we tend to put, I'll think of America's greatest team, the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, TW is not a Packer fan. And a lot of times it'll be, you know, like Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers face whoever, right? And I think that's just how we are culturally. But what I find is cheesemaking is teamwork is incredibly important for cheesemaking. Our success at Sartori comes because we have a dedicated team of artisans who work hard every day, do the best they can, bring good ideas, bring observations, and I really want to raise up the entire team we have at Sartori, and that strong team goes beyond the plants too. I'm incredibly thankful that we have talented people, say in finance, and all the way around. And sometimes we'll put the cheesemaker on a pedestal, but really it takes a team to be successful. And I feel very blessed by the team I have at Sartori.
All right, Pam, we got another question. This is from Chris. Do your cheese cultures drift over time in flavor profile? And if so, how do you maintain consistency over time? Can you speak to the seasonal flavor differences in milk and its impact?
We see more drift in milk than we do in our cultures, but we treat our cheese cultures as if they are our children. That's the kind of love and care they get, and that might explain their consistency over time. As far as milk definitely changes seasonally. As cheesemakers, our challenge is to listen to the process and so by listening to the process, we make small tweaks along the way. Our goal is, even though we start in a slightly different place every day, our goal is to end up at the same place, so that every bite, say you're a MontAmoré fan, every bite of MontAmoré, you're going to get what you expect. You're going to get that same great flavor.